Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily, we have, some bad beats, I'll tell you that much. But we are also talking player props, game picks, best bets. There's a Rate My Multi. Alex takes a victory lap over some AFL season-long futures. I have a bit of a sook about the FIBA World Cup, but also break down some other games. Stats Guy, what are you looking at?
An absolute FIBA World Cup lock for Slovenia, and then an AFLW Premiership look. It's back this week. Absolutely awesome.
Nice one. What about you, Alex?
Reminding myself never to rely on Essendon to do anything ever again.
Checks out. He's also talking about the Brownlow.
Yeah, that too. Oh, and who's going to win the flag? Yeah, them.
Nice. Seems important. All right, there you go. It's on Code Bet Daily. You better check it out right now. Welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Monday, August 28th. Oh, geez. I tell you what, it's a rough Monday too. This is Mad Monday, but more to do with the fact that, I don't know, there was a mad Sunday night watching the Boomers take on the Germans. Yeah. And the losing by the 3 points, yeah. Pretty brutal for me, but, did a live stream while it was all happening. Woken up a bit dusty. That's what you get on the big jobs. Either way, I'm your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. It's called CodeBet. Apparently some people checked it out over the weekend, which is always handy. You can find that at codebet.com.au. I'm joined, as always, by the Pontiffs. That's right, the Pontiffs of punting. We've got Alex Donnelly over there, who has just, been watching pretend sport for the last few, so that's good.
AEW at Wembley Stadium, 81,000 there. It was a ton of fun. Also enjoying cashing in on people who called me an idiot, which, usually is right, but given the fact that I said Port would finish in the top four and the Western Bulldogs would miss the finals, and I called it in May, give me that money, thank you.
Fair play.
I would always have money on you being an idiot.
Yeah. So I got like 5 out of 6 seasonal plays that I've been screaming about all year correct. St Kilda's the only one that I missed, so I'll take it.
Nice.
The good thing is it only came down to the last day of the season.
Right. I know, yeah, last hour.
And we've got the Stats Guy down there as well. What's going on, Stats Guy?
I can't believe my team North are the only ones out of all three of you guys to win. I'm actually not too fussed in the end. I watched a good game of footy, so that's all right. But I can't.
I would be. You're losing a 3-time Brownlow medalist to West Coast.
Oh, jeez.
Good times, great memories. This is Code the Germans won daily. Just absolutely going hammer and tongs in this FIBA World Cup. It's been awesome. Great to see France, those French
thank God.
Anyway, this is Code Bet Daily. We are talking codes. We're talking bets. We're talking about them daily. And that's what it says on the tin, right? So we're talking player props, game picks, best bets. I've got to rate my multi for tomorrow's FIBA slate. No, tonight.
Tonight, I saw, yeah.
Which is always good. It's kind of a good thing when they're in our time zone. And I think we'll have a bit of a quick lap around Alex's triumphs and also a couple of my bad beats. So good times. All right, let's get into it. What are we looking at today? I'm talking NFL player props for the FIBA World Cup and a couple of other game picks for FIBA. So a couple of futures, a couple of other good stuff in there. Stats Guy, what about you?
Bit of a Brownlow look. The season's done now, so it's a bit of interesting bet there. FIBA World Cup, looking at Slovenia. And then AFLW is back this weekend. No AFL, so get around the AFLW this weekend.
Geez, you're really pumping it up, Stats Guy. Everyone's so excited from that 7-second. Yeah, guys, it's going to be great.
Yeah, well, it is. Go North. We're good in AFLW.
He's trying.
Yeah.
Just some exuberance. Like, it's going to be sick.
It's
Tim's on
awesome.
the hill. Let's go.
Tim's on the hill at Arden Street in 2 weeks' time. Yeah,
There we go. There we go.
Let's go. The shirt off, waving around his head. Hey, let me in. Hey, anyway.
Stats Guy letting off flares.
What about you, Alex? What are you looking at today?
Having a look at the Brownlow as well, and then a look at the first week of the finals, and I'm going to call my shot early and tell you who's going to win the flag.
Oh, nice.
All right, let's do a quick bad beats wrap here because I'll tell you what, my weekend could have gone pretty differently if literally 2 little things had gone my way. Jesse Hogan. This was one that I did not pay attention to because I was watching the Boomers Germany game. I did see Jesse Hogan grab a big snag late in that game. I'm like, he's probably kicked a few. Nope, he put that one in for a point, and that was his first point for the game.
Stuck it up.
After kicking a goal earlier. Did I have him as a 2-goal addition in my multi? You better believe. Did all the other parts of that hit? Oh, yes. $24.33 multi. Missing because Hogan got 1 instead of 2. And then was it Crows West Coast? Jordan Dawson finished on 24 disposals.
Oh.
Muggins over here had him at 25. And I also had Isaac Rankin with one goal, a single goal. He instead decided to go, blow it out your nose, ginger man. Here is 2 points instead. I'm like, that doesn't help me, Isaac. What have you got against me? And
he's probably too busy complaining about last week, Steels. That's all he did, in the game, just complain. Maybe get a kick, Isaac.
Ooh. Cop that.
That is the sound of a Sydney fan who has fallen backwards into the finals and will now beat my beloved team in the first round as well, which is going to be hilarious.
Maybe.
And the other one, I believe, was Sheasel as well.
Yeah, I had him in my article, actually. 29. Oh, he had 33 the last 4 weeks or something. Just couldn't get over that one. Didn't come in our backline as much as usual, so that probably didn't help.
That wasn't quite as bad of a beat as I expected because I still had, I think, in that multi with the North Gold Coast game, Gold Coast to win. They did not.
At least you're out of your pain early, I guess.
Yeah.
True. And I believe someone else has got the Langford bet in there too.
That was me. Honestly, that was possibly the worst game I've ever seen on Friday night. Everyone's like, Collingwood are back. No, Essendon just really suck and Collingwood aren't that great. But you're backing Kyle Langford because Collingwood have no backline. And sharpshooter all year. I saw him at Marvel Stadium when they nearly beat the Swans, kicking goals from here, there and everywhere. He has 6 set shots on Friday night and kicks 1 goal 4. Brutal for the people who backed him for 3, 4 and even 5 goals. Not fun, given it was literally the one leg of the multi that missed out. And also a quick shout out to one of my really good mates, Josh. He missed out on $687,000 last night. He'd had like a 60-something leg multi over all the games this weekend.
Jesus.
The leg that missed out was Harry Perryman from GWS to get 15 disposals. He ended up with 12. It is the first game since 2020 where Harry Perryman has had less than 15 disposals.
Oh, jeez.
That's a bad beat.
That is a bad beat.
He also won $32,000 over the weekend.
Actually,
so
I
it's really
forgot
not
to
the worst
mention
result ever.
Another an EPL one, Alex. Arsenal, your mates, cost me my multi. They drew with Fulham scored a goal with 10 men to draw it up in like the very late in the game. So that was very annoying for my multi.
Mate, it wasn't a great weekend for me. I'm not really happy.
That's
anyway,
right. We won lots of other bets.
I'll tell you what, the bad beats are coming thick and fast as well. I had the Boomers -4.5. I'm like, wow, that's moved in. That's weird considering they don't have Franz Wagner.
I know.
Boomers proceeded to lose by 3. So me watching Carlton and the Boomers lose concurrently made for a very depressed Jim on the stream. Good times. Anyway, let's get into some player props. FIBA World Cup is in full swing. We've got Greece versus the USA this evening. A couple of player props in this one. Thanasis Antetokounmpo didn't do a whole bunch in the first game for Greece as they ran roughshod. They've got George Papagiannis and stuff like that, so they don't need Thanasis to do too much, but he's only needing 7.5 points here. This is against some of his old muckers from the NBA. Yeah. I think we see Thanasis go flying over that 7.5 to get us 8. That's $1.86. Jalen Brunson is going to carve up this Greece team as well. His points total over under is 11.5. That's just a few long bombs from Jalen Brunson. He did a bit of the heavy lifting. I'm interested in this one because it might be Brunson or Halliburton. I feel like it'll be one of the two that has a bit of a field day against Greece in this game. I'm going to side with Brunson. Might be just Steve Kerr trusting that a little bit more. You know, that older head, bigger body too. So that's $1.80 for the over. Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, only had 14 points in game 1.
Yeah, he was a bit off.
Disappointment. Over 17.5 for this one, $1.86. There's no one in that Greece team who can slow him down. So look for the Ant-Man to go absolutely hammer and tongs. We were talking, I think, at the pre-game stream, I think, Australia-Finland back on Friday night. Myself and erstwhile former Boomer, Chris Anstey as well. And Chris was talking about how he loved Ant-Man. 15-plus points every game. That's a bad beat.
Yeah, come on.
It's like, come on, man. It's like the tournament. You're breaking my heart. Anyway, and Slovenia versus Georgia as well. Georgia's in trouble. Goga Bitazde. Bizarre days. I love him. Over 13.5 points, though. There's not a giant amount of size on that Slovenian team. They will smash them, though, because Luka's awesome. Speaking of Luka, 4 times 3 What do you reckon? Can he hit 4 threes in this one? Stats guy went 2 of 8.
I reckon.
Game 1.
Got the shorter 3-point line as well.
$2.20 for the 4 threes, over 29.5 points. Slovenia is a one-man team if we've literally ever seen one. They have a couple of handy names here and there, and they do sort of pop up. But it's when Luka passes him the ball and he goes, "You better not miss."
Yeah.
So his points, rebounds, assists as well is 45.5. Luka might be the first bloke to have a FIBA World Cup triple-double. He might beat Josh Giddey.
First player. I did. That's interesting. Wow.
After Giddey's display last night, I think Luka might pip him here. So over 45.5 is $1.86 and $1.86 for his points over 2. So those are the ones I'm looking at tonight just because with some of the other ones a little bit sketchy. And I'll get into a couple of other picks later on. Alex.
Yeah, the Brownlow medal, obviously, given the end of the season, is now upon us, so we can really start talking about this and going through every single Brownlow predictor humanly possible. I looked at about 8 this morning, and let's be honest, all 8 have different winners. Some of them had Lachie Neale winning by 6 votes, which just feels really wrong.
The AFL one has the Lachie Neale.
If you have Lachie Neale winning by 6 votes, I think your algorithm needs to get looked at. Are you sure you haven't confused Will Ashcroft a few times?
Yeah,
I do like that. It's basically tell me you didn't watch any football
in the first half.
Tell me you didn't watch any football.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, so I'm looking at Bont. Just like Paddy Cripps last year, it could be the same tale where he dead set does everything he can to lift his team into finals, and they just miss out. He had 31 disposals, a crap ton of clearances and contested footy on Saturday night, and genuinely lifted the Dogs over the line there. Could getting 2 or 3 votes in that game get him a Brownlow. Potentially gets him from all the prognostications and everything else around that 30-vote mark. Apparently, Daicos is right around that as well. Zach Butters might have got 3 yesterday afternoon, so could he be a late fly in the ointment given how awesome he was in the middle of the year? And out wide, Errol Goulden probably with another 3 yesterday with 42 touches and 2 goals. He has every chance of really running up this table in the last 10 rounds. I reckon there's at least 6 best on grounds for him there.
I'm more worried that you said his name without singing his name.
Well, because Gerald doesn't hit the bit, so I'm protesting silently without protesting.
It doesn't stop you from singing it. Like, whoa, Errol, he got another 3 in that last game. It's easy. What are you doing?
There we go. That's
I'm still getting over us getting beaten, to be honest. But yeah, he was honestly awesome yesterday. 42 and 2. It's
some
like
of his goals as well. Yeah.
Should we match up on him? No? Okay, it's fine. He's fine. But Petrarca probably gets 2 votes as well, but given his last month, his momentum's probably really slowed down. So I like the 250 about Bont. I can't wait for the top 5 and top 10 markers to start appearing because then I'm going to be coming out with some bets. There was a guy who got his face ripped off last night that he's going to feature in my top 10 betting as well. But Bont at about the $2.80 mark right now. I don't mind whatsoever.
Face ripped off. He barely touched him.
Please, if it was him that did it, he would have got 6 weeks. So Jacob Wiedering may miss the first week of the finals.
I think Wieders, you can actually look at it. The face is just like there. His hand sort of brushes it lightly, and then he's like gone. As soon as he realizes his face, he's like, wait a second. Stats guy, what's your player prop?
I'm going directly against Alex here with the. I'm going Daicos. I know he had a solid game, the Bont on the weekend, but I think his other midfielders were a bit stronger. You got Treloar and Libba, who were the clear standouts. They got more touches, more clearances, and they both got goals. I think they're going to get the 3 and 2 votes. And then if Bont is going to get some votes, probably the 1. And I said last week, I think he's got to get around that 2 mark. Maybe we don't 100% know, obviously, just looking at the trackers. But I think he has to get around 2 to clear Daicos. The other thing is Isaac Smith was absolutely awesome. He could sneak a 1 vote. I know Geelong weren't very good.
That's fine. That doesn't stop Bont from getting a vote when he was right there in the coalface of it winning the game.
No, he was awesome. It's just going to be really tight. Like all I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised if he gets even 0 votes in this one. Smith had 36 and a goal as well. Just he might sneak in for a vote. Bont probably should get the 1 vote because he helped his team win. But I still don't know if that 1 vote is enough. Daicos, obviously ended really well before his injury, and he's around that 30 mark. I had Bont on, did my own sort of little tracker thing on around 29, 28, so it could even be a tie. So when the market comes out, I'm going to be either leaning towards Daicos slightly, or I'm going to get on the tie. I think last year the tie was like around $5, so might jump on that.
I think I lean more towards Stats guy as well. Having done the Brownlow piece as Daicos was injured and then a couple of weeks out again, it's like, the Bont probably just didn't do quite enough to fly over the top.
I think he could get a vote just because they do love him, giving those big players.
And Treloar was so good for so much of that game as well, right? He just had so much of the ball. It does feel like that's one of the horrible teammate spoilers at the very end.
Yeah, and it's Adam Treloar of all people. You're just really? This guy?
He's been
30 to 29, Daicos leads, and Bont, it's one vote.
And that's where Bont starts the Brownlow Medal Royal Rumble, punching out Adam Treloar.
There we go. Gets his own teammate.
It's a bit WCW.
But I think it's going to be a great Brownlow race. It's going to be really, really close. So be good.
Good thing is we'll probably have about 4 articles of it in the lead up to it.
Exactly,
so it should be good. All right, let's do some match and or game.
What's your best match or game pick?
All right, I've got some FIBA games for tonight. We've got New Zealand Brew up against Jordan. They don't take after their namesake, Michael Jordan. The country was named for him. 7.5 point favourites, the Kiwis. They were actually up on Team USA early.
They looked all right, yeah.
Lee and Co. doing pretty well. I think they'll have absolutely no problems with Jordan. They're one of the weaker teams in the FIBA World Cup. Slovenia versus Georgia. Not a giant line, but Slovenia didn't also demolish their first opponent.
Venezuela.
That's right. 15 they won. So the 8.5 for Georgia. Georgia have played teams pretty tough. You'll pay it, but I think Slovenia have more than the 9 in front of them, so they should be okay. Serbia, 18.5 point favourites against Puerto Rico. Serbia are one of the sneakily excellent teams in this one, even without big Nikola Jokic. They've got Nikola Jokic from Wish, a.k.a. Nikola Jovic, and they've got just a really, really solid team. So they're going to smash Puerto Rico, pour one out. Greece, plus 23.5 against Team USA. I think Team USA are kind of sleepwalking through these early games. You saw them against the Kiwis. That line was 36.5. They only won by 29 or something.
Yep.
Greece, there's a couple of actual handy players on that team. They should just keep it to around the 20 mark. And Brazil, plus 9.5 against Spain. Actually, this is one of the sort of spoiler picks for me. Spain, pretty good, obviously. We know that. This is Spanish. I'll put it the good jar because that was my German accent talking about the Spanish. And Brazil have been awesome in the lead up to this. They've been awesome in the tournament. I'm taking Brazil plus 9.5. They've got, a little bit of depth. They know how to play together. Give me Brazil. And it's time, with all those put together, to do a Rate My Multi.
Rate My Multi.
New Zealand minus 7.5, Slovenia minus 8.5, Serbia minus 18.5, Greece plus 23.5, and Brazil plus 9.5. That will get you a 5-leg multi of $28.57.
Wow.
Even Rate My Multi.
I have no idea. So 4.37.
I'll give it an 8. I think 8.5 even. I'm looking through a few of the bets myself. I would have had a few of them, so don't mind it.
I worry Greece. I worry about Greece.
Serbia, I haven't really watched them that much, but 8.5 is a big line as well. Greece, 23. No, I back Greece, 23.5.
Yeah, if I'm going to just drop it down to a 4-leg multi, which probably has about, $13, $14, I'd probably just lop off the Greek bit and go with Brazil was the underdog. So, Anyway, there we go. Good stuff.
Nice.
Enjoyed that. Alex, let's do some game picks.
Yeah, let's have a look at the finals. Next week, obviously, they kick off Thursday night. I assume we're going to be doing a live stream. If not, I may have just shoved us into it next Thursday night when the D's take on Collingwood at the MCG. Thank God Sydney or Carlton aren't playing for the sake of Jim and I's heart rate. It's fantastic. Anyway, in that first final, I'll be backing the D's to beat the Pies. Knocked them off Queen's birthday earlier this year. The intensity in which the Demons blitzed the Swans around the footy in the last quarter on Sunday when they had literally nothing to play for was awesome. Collingwood are almost arrogant enough to not try and tag Clayton Oliver or Christian Petrarca, and track was absolutely awesome last night. Bailey Fritsch warmed up for the finals, as we called pre-game, with 5 goals. Good luck trying to stop him. Moving to Friday night, I think Carlton will get the job done over the Swans. Carlton at the MCG, 92 of the 100,000 fans there will be going for Carlton. Their midfield's just a little bit better than the Swans, and also Charlie, seriously, how is the Swans backline going to stop him?
True.
The other game, Giants will beat the Saints. Giants just absolutely demolished Carlton last night. I know it was but they had to play and Carlton were fine. It's no, it's not just that eking out a 2-goal win. It was they absolutely belted them. And then the Brisbane Lions to beat Port Adelaide. Simple fact, it's up in Brisbane. Brisbane are unbeaten. They scrapped a gross, ugly win on Saturday night against St Kilda, but they won, and that's all that matters. All those four head-to-head. Rate my multi at $7.72.
Ooh, $7. I don't mind it. I'm a bit worried about the pie. I don't know. I just feel like the pies could just, bounce back.
I like how you're
finals.
worried when Collingwood are favourites.
Yeah. Oh, no, worried about that, your pick of D's over pies. Yeah.
Yeah, he's worried about your pick.
Yeah, that's
D,
all I'm talking about. Yeah, so I'll probably give it a 6.5. I do like all the other picks though.
Jim's going to give it a 0 because he's just going to tip the Swans. So either way, he gets his tip right, and then if he gets his tip wrong, he's a happy man.
I feel like that's happened a few times.
See what I did last year and put a horrifyingly large amount of money on the Swans to win that game.
Oh, that's right.
Walk away a winner no matter what. Blues, Swans at the G is an interesting sort of situation, but Giants over Saints, I think that's going to be fascinating too.
If it's at the MCG, the Giants will just run through them, and apparently it is having a look at the schedule that's been released this morning.
It's not at Marvel. Really?
No, the AFL's like, we get more money at the MCG.
Yeah, but they're not going to fill out Marvel, let alone the MCG.
Well, they think they can get 65,000 at a St Kilda final, which would easily sell out Marvel, and I will be going. I'm going to put myself through the torture of a Ross Lyon final.
I'll give that a 6.5 because there's a couple of ones where you're like, don't mind a bit. Just as a head-to-head multi to get to $7.70 is not bad. All right, Stats Sky.
Yeah, jumping on the back of what Jim mentioned about the FIBA World Cup, Slovenia taking on Georgia. Now, Slovenia, they did beat Venezuela pretty comfortably in their first game. We did see Australia absolutely pump Venezuela. They looked horrible in the build-up, so maybe they should have won by a bit more. But I think they can easily get through Georgia here. They've also obviously got one of the best players in the world, Luka Doncic. He had 37 points last game. They did have two other guys get over 18 points, so it's not just a one-man show. And I think they're going to be way too classy for Georgia here. Slovenia as well. They did beat Germany twice in the last year, and they've also beaten France, so they're a really good side. Georgia, they did win their first game of the tournament of the World Cup, but it was against Cape Verde, who are the lowest ranked side in the whole tournament. I think they're 64th in the world. Very surprised that they qualified. So I'm not taking that win from Georgia too seriously. Luka as well. James mentioned he's going to get over 29.5 points. I really like that. But even safer, he's averaged 26 points for Slovenia across the last couple of years. So I'm going to go Luka Doncic, 25 plus points, and then Slovenia just to cover the line of 7.5. I really like that. I think that's a small line. $2.60 I think is an absolute lock. Every game he's going to get around that 25 to 35 mark, I think, in this whole tournament. And then Slovenia to cover that line, I think, is pretty easy against the Georgia team who, one-man show, as James mentioned before.
Love it. That's awesome. $2.60 for 25 plus in Slovenia, 7.5.
Like, you can even bump that up to his line of 29.5 if you want, and you probably get $3 or $4 odds for that. But just really safe for $2.60. I thought it was really good.
Nice one. Good job, Stats Guy.
Cool.
All right. Nice. Happy days. Let's do some best bets.
It's best bets. It's best bets. It's time for all the best bets.
Great job, mate. All right, before we do best bets, Alex, take us through your big pre-season, you're halfway through the season, AFL winners.
So we said Richmond to miss the finals probably after like round 4 or 5. That was a bit nervous for about 4 weeks there. But yeah, they got the job done. We said Port Adelaide to finish in the top 4. We called that one in May. Western Bulldogs to miss the finals, that one job done. I think there was a Geelong to miss the finals there in there as well. We did call unders pre-season. Sydney Swans to make the finals as well. And Brisbane Lions to be the top non-Victorian club. That came when they were 2 games behind Port Adelaide. So pretty decent little set there that we've had if someone's been paying attention this year.
Well played.
Excellent.
Nice.
Good stuff. Do a victory lap and away we go. All right, my best bets coming up for today. Passing yards in this coming NFL season. Nice little future. There'll be an article about this going up on the site today. Juzzy Herbs. My beloved Juzzy Herbs. Now, you've heard me talk about this market before and how Mahomes is, top 5,000, but Juzzy Herbs has now got Kellen Moore, an actual offensive coordinator who actually realizes that he's got a bazooka for his right shoulder. The fact that he's still 750 to lead the league, like literally they've got a first-round wide receiver that has joined the Chargers. You've got, as long as Keenan Allen and Mike Williams stay healthy, you've also got, as mentioned, that Austin Eckler pass catching back, which is like the biggest thing for just like keeping that consistent yardage moving not only in the games, but just as a stat, right? Just like it's
Yeah.
bumping up your passing. It doesn't matter if it's a 2-yard dump-off pass, but if Austin Eckler takes it for another 15 yards, it's a 17-yard pass out of nowhere, and it's to your running back. Like, it's basically found money. So, Juzzy Herbs to lead the league is $7.50. For Juzzy Herbs to go over 5,000, which he came very close to last year, did it the year before, that's $3.75. His over-under is 4,500. We're going over. Come on, what are we doing? $1.87. Boom. But in terms of the actual market of league leader of the QBs, Mahomes is $4. Very short. He's only ever won that once. The thing is, he's never dipped below 4,700 yards in a season when he's healthy. So
Crazy.
I think he did that in 15 games. So he's always going to be right there or abouts, right? The other one for me, though, and just the value price here is Dak Prescott at $14 for your erstwhile Dallas Cowboys. To be honest, if he wasn't on the Cowboys, this would probably be a higher number as well. But they're taking into account the fact that he's on the Cowboys, and there is a lot of obviously, attention paid to literally anything to do with the Cowboys. Thing is, this year he comes in, he loses Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, but they did pick up a really, really good innings-eating volume wide receiver too in Brandon Cooks. He could go 1,000 yards without blinking, right? He does it for bad teams. Now he's on a half-decent team. Off he goes. But they've already got CeeDee Lamb as their number one. They've got Michael Gallup at number 3. They've got, again, a pass-catching back who doesn't have anyone like Zeke Elliott eating up space in front of him, Tony Pollard. So for $14, there's a bit of a, hang on a second, what is Dak doing? It could be like 6 weeks into this season, and you're like, hang on, Dak's leader for MVP. Dak's going to win the passing yards thing as well. The problem is Dak tends to then get hurt. So for $14, you've got like a little bit of the Dallas Cowboy thing built in. You've also got a bit of injury built into it. So maybe it balances out to be a fair price, but I don't mind the $14 for Dak as the outsider pick. He's $11 also to go over 5,000 yards. He's never done it, but this is, if he stays healthy for 17 games, he gives that a fair shake, I think, this year, because he's just got a really solid. And it's like, in years past, we've had the more spectacular Dallas Cowboys receiver types. This one is just solid. And they're just going to catch the passes as long as Dak doesn't turn the ball over 15 times like he did last year, which eats into your stat total, obviously, but I like that as well. A couple of other little ones for the FIBA World Cup. Luka to be the top point scorer for the entire tournament, $2.60.
Ooh.
It's pretty good.
Cool.
He took Slovenia to the final 4 of the Olympics, which is where the Boomers beat them. So we know that he can get a team deep into the tournament, which is obviously crucial. Ant-Man's at $10 as well. He might just fire up from here on out and just drop 30 every game. And a sneaky one, Willie Hernan-Gomez for Spain, $26. He's also just $1.80 to lead Spain. He looked really good in game 1. He's got the size. He's got the Euroball vibes. Willie Hernan-Gomez to lead all scorers in this FIBA World Cup. If Spain go all the way and actually win the thing,
he'll be there later, yeah.
He's dropping, 20 plus a game. Boom. Why not?
Cool.
For $26, it's worth a look. Anyway, and already nailed some thought stats, guy. I don't know if you remember this, but the group betting.
Yes, I was about to mention that. Yeah.
Picked Germany over Australia.
Yep.
I ended up going with Dominican Republic over
Dominican
Italy.
Republic, I got on that last night, yeah.
And Canada over France. So, all those group bets.
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome.
Without your noses, you floggy frogs, huh? All right. Good stuff. Alex, what's your best bet?
Brisbane Lions to win the AFL Premiership in 2023. I said if they got the home qualifying final, they would make the grand final. So that's basically almost one step of it done. They play Port Adelaide. I think they'll get the job done over them. Port looked very, very scrappy against a very weakened Richmond team yesterday afternoon. I know Brisbane did as well, but that was against St Kilda, a team who are going to play finals and may come up against Brisbane throughout the final series. So no knock there. I feel like Brisbane have had a couple of flat weeks where they've been average but still have won the game. The game that they needed to win was against Collingwood, and they absolutely smashed them at Marvel 2 weeks ago. As I said, 2 home finals at the Gabba. They're unbeaten there this year, and before that, I think they'd only lost 3 games in the last 4 years or something ridiculous. And I think that's to Sydney, Melbourne, and maybe Collingwood. I'm not sure on the third one, but I know it's Sydney and Melbourne. Anyway, I think they'll get to the grand final. They haven't won a grand final or a final in Melbourne and this and that and whatever. It's just like, okay, cool. They're in the grand final. They have to win 1 game of football. Who cares? And if they get there, we can back the other team because we're taking $3.75 about the Lions to win the flag today.
Didn't they win a final in Melbourne?
Sorry, not a final, a game in Melbourne. Yeah, sorry, they beat Melbourne in Melbourne last year, but they've won 1 of 14, Alex. Oh, yeah. Okay, the game they won there was a final, so...
I think this is good because he's making the point that I made last week where it's like get through those first two, so you're unbeaten, and then it's one game.
We said this. We literally said this when the COVID one, where it was up there. I don't know. They just always seem to crumble, so I don't know if I can trust them just yet.
That was also when Richmond and Geelong were like next level psycho good. They are literally the best setup team in the top 4 right now to get it done.
I'll agree with that. Yep.
Nice one. Stats guy.
Bit of F1. I want to touch on the Dutch Grand Prix yesterday. Absolutely nailed my best bet over the weekend. Was the race margin, which was less than 6 seconds. Got it at $3.74. Actually, I ended up getting it at $5 just before the race. It went up for some reason. It was absolutely pouring in Zandvoort, so that helped be a bit close. And there was pit stops every 2 seconds. It was a chaos race. Max, of course, still won, but I didn't care who won. It was just had to be under 6 seconds. Only the third race.
Ferrari forgetting their tyres.
They've been horrible.
Change tyres. Just great stuff.
Yeah, so he obviously won, but it was only the third race this season out of the 11 that have gone under that 6 seconds. So I was really happy with that one.
Nailed it.
Yeah. And then having a look at the AFLW, as I mentioned before, it starts this weekend with no AFL. Get watching this. Having a look at an AFLW Premiership look, Melbourne and Brisbane are the clear favourites at $3.75. I think that's a bit too low. They were in last year's grand final. Melbourne, they still probably have the best list. They've got just a great balance of youth and experience. But $3.75 to start the season when you've got a full comp now, I don't know if that's good value at all. One good thing I love about AFLW is that North Melbourne, my team, are actually really good. They've made the finals in the last 4 seasons. We've got a really strong team. A lot of young girls last year coming up, and I think we'll have a really good season this year. $8 as the 4th favourite, I think is really great value. That's going to be my value pick, not just because I go for North, but I think we've got a really, really good team. You've got the skipper in Emma Carney. She's the only player in AFLW to be All-Australian in every single season. So she's 7 seasons in a row. She's been AFL in the All-Australian of the AFLW. She's been absolutely awesome. Got a really tall and athletic forward line led by Emma King and Talia Randall, who just can take hangers, rotate in the ruck, and you need those sort of tall forwards that not every AFLW team have coming out of the goal square. So I think, just a great value pick at $8. $3.75 for a flag. I know Melbourne and Brisbane probably have the best overall lists, but North only lost to Melbourne by 2 points last year. I think it's going to be a really tight race. So $8 just is really good value compared to your $3.75.
Nice one.
Yeah.
$8.
Yeah.
Pay. I mean, it's still North. Bunch of
yeah. Look, I said we've been really strong. We haven't won a flag, but I just don't see how it goes $3.75 for the first 2, then it goes $7 and $8 for Adelaide and North. It's just a big drop off. I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. So yeah,
nice one. Good stuff, Stats Guy. There will be a breakdown of the upcoming AFLW season written by the Stats Guy going up on the
Stats Guy
tomorrow, Wednesday, I think.
Get around it.
Good stuff. All right, there you go. Co-Bet Daily done for today. We'll be back on deck tomorrow. I think we'll be in the studio. Should be good. Get right around the show. Get around the EPL show, the NRL show, the AFL show, NBA Australia, and there will be an NFL Australia.
Oh,
as well as of tomorrow night. I think the season preview. We've got 2 weeks, basically 10 days until NFL's back. Can't wait. So we've got a couple of preseason shows up, ready to go, and NBA Australia is covering all things FIBA World Cup. I think I'll have a new show of that actually up today where I just whinge about the German again.
Don't forget Hold All tickets as well.
And Hold All tickets. Punters, yeah.
Love that. All right. Subscribe on your podcast app, like, review, and star them all. And, of course, chuck us a follow across CodeBet all over the socials. What are we? Facey, IG, X, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, Facey, IG. I'll just keep repeating them until I get them all. Anyway, good weekend. Chaos stuff. Nice wrap, gentlemen. Well done. Thanks, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
No thanks to your mate, the Sheasel. Thanks, Alex.
Cheers.
Way to cash it up, and you'll probably see a picture of that, your mate's bad beat that we float around the socials.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good times, great memories. And, of course, we'll have a whole bunch of other NFL, AFLW, EPL gear going up this week in absence of the AFL, but there will be all the usual NRL coverage as well. So, great stuff. All right, thanks to Gerald for producing. Thanks to me. And what do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
May all your picks come in. Happy punting. We will catch you tomorrow. Go Bet Daily. Out.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.